The Lord called and no one answered. January 31st, 2024 marked the end of the extended grace period. People were supposed to come into desolation, but they rebelled. They refused. Nobody heard the voice of the Lord. So the disasters have begun. It is just a little fire that has started. But you are already crying. More disasters are coming. Buildings are going to be brought down. The KICC buildings, the tall supermarkets, the parliament buildings, the storage buildings, all are going to be brought down. The thicker highway that you are so proud of, the road network, they are going to be in ruins and in tatters. The city is going to be burned up. It will be heaps of ruins. You will be made to flee. Nobody rebels against God, and nobody is more than God. Until the time William Ruto is taken away from power, because he took the throne of the Lord Almighty. Kenya, the woman in labor, Revelation 12. The child that was born was Raila Amolo Odinga, the male child caught between the throne of God. But because of their wickedness and deceit and lies together with the Chebukati team, they took the throne away from the Lord Almighty. And their judgment is inescapable. The sword is coming. Ruto, the sword is coming for you. And this will mark your finality. And many people are going to be slaughtered. Just the way you see the dung of cows lying on the ground, it is the same way that bodies will be scattered all over the ground. And no one will be able to bury them. So it is just the beginning, Kenyans. Mulisema hampangwingwi, but Mungu ameshuka kuwapanga. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Disaster, disaster, disaster. Bado mjaona buildings zikiporomoshwa chini. The KICC buildings, the parliament buildings, the large supermarkets, the storage buildings, all will be brought down into ashes. Mound and heaps of ruins kabisa. Everything is coming to an end. Even schooling, even reporting to work, everything is coming to an end. It's judgment time. The finality is the sword, and it will be a sudden terror. So you are supposed to flee into desolation, but nobody heard. So you will be made to flee, and you are being made to flee in times of trouble, when you have no strength, because you rebelled against the Lord Almighty. The roads network, the thicker highway that you are so proud of, it will be nothing. It will be nothing. The whole land will be in total ruins, except Nalondo to Mabanga, the place of desolation, the place of resurrection, where you were supposed to gather when I called out, but nobody heard, nobody listened. It's just a little fire, the explosion that has started. Mungu atawafundisha. Mungu anawafundisha. Bado hamujaona. Bado hamujaona Kenyans, bado hamujalia. Bado hamujalia. Hukumu yenu, Kenyans. It is severe, more than the other nations that the Lord has destroyed. You have witnessed how the other countries have been destroyed with the fires, with the tornadoes, with the earthquakes. But the finality is in Kenya. There are more earthquakes. There is more famine. There are more diseases. There is the sword coming, the slaughter. The looming bloodshed prophecy is about to be fulfilled. Rivers being turned into blood. water being made bitter. So you refused, but you will be made to flee. Every other area is going to lie desolate. No one moving, because there is still wild animals meant to devour the land, eating people alive, even breaking into houses. And the finality is the army that is coming, the army that the Lord has stirred up in his own spirit and might, a ruthless army, that even infants will be dashed into pieces. The women will be raped and violated. They have no mercy. There's only going to be a remnant, the 144,000, because Kenya is the woman in labor during the August 8, 2022 elections. But Ruto and Chebukati stole these elections with the help of the Red Dragon, the late Queen Elizabeth. But each is going to pay. Each is going to pay. Nobody messes with the throne of the Lord Almighty until this throne goes back to the real owner, Raila Amolo Odinga, who is supposed to rule in God's image and likeness, because the true Israel nation of the Lord Almighty, the descendants of Jacob, a people not yet a nation, are Kenyans. Still more, there is a tsunami that is going to happen at the coast of Kenya, and it will sweep the land clean. Wengi walilia waokolewe, maporomoko bila mapumziko. Wengi walilia waokolewe, maporomoko bila mapumziko. The time has come. Judgment time. It will be a series of disaster until you all flee to the place of desolation for the judgment to be read and the new law of the Lord Almighty. So Kenyans, bado hamjachungwa vizuri na Mungu. Bado moto iko inakuja zaidi ya ile wakati wa Sodom and Gomorrah. There are more earthquakes coming. Buildings will be swayed like trees. There are more landslides and mudslides. More deaths are coming. It is judgment time. And this will mark the fulfillment of Prophet Owuor's prophecy that was in 2005, that the resurrection will be in Bungoma, because I am the bride of the Lord.